What's going on, fam? It's your boy Sydney from thenakedgardeners.com. So a while back we did a video on putting the alfalfa straw on our container for as a mulch. Come to find out it was a bad idea, because what it did is somehow, I'm not sure if it was the bad straw or if the straw was just somehow just messing up the soil here, but a lot of our plants just wind up just completely just dying and just wilting out. So we pulled all of those out, and in this video we're going to show you how we're going to still keep that experiment going. The first thing I did was I took all that straw out, and that's right through here right now. And we had, for about the week, we had about good 7 inches of rain. So it washed and just basically filtered all whatever that alfalfa straw was contaminated with. And so I was trying to support our local nursery that's out here nearby us, but they didn't have any determinate tomato plants. So we wound up going to the big box store, and we got these, they're called Somersets. They're a heat tolerant hybrid tomato. These have about 75 to 78 days once you transplant them in. Since our last frost, or our first frost, isn't going to be till like the middle of November, we got plenty of time. So we're going to do is we're going to do a hole. See how much we can get deep. Yeah, that's about right. We're going to use an egg from our farm. I know people are going to say the egg doesn't do anything. It actually kind of does. Sugarfoot. I could just poke it. There we go. We'll do a better way next time. So we're going to take this out. And this one actually came with 2. So we're going to save this one and transplant it into another area. But while that's doing that, we're going to do that, and then we're going to, this is our Dr. Earth container. This requires 3 tablespoons, so we're going to give it 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll come back. We're going to do the same thing for all of these. Come back and scratch them all in, and allow that. One thing that I found out when we had that alfalfa kind of mess up the soil in here with the plant, once we took off the straw, that with the amount of heat and extreme temperatures that we was getting, it would kind of help sterilizing supposedly for our soil. So hopefully that will help out, and then with it being bare for about 2 weeks, we should be good. So we're going to carry on for the rest of these, and then show you the plants that we got from the local nursery.
So I guess that's another element that requires more, so you go through it faster, right?
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to go get some.
many tablespoons?
This is 6. This one is another 6. This is the Redmond soil foundation. Yep. This is tomato tone, 6 tablespoons again. Plant tone, 5 tablespoons.
Another thing to consider is how much each of the fertilizers are required by the bag, like the 5 tablespoons or the 6 tablespoons. The other one was just 3 tablespoons.
This is of the worm casting.
How much equivalent of tablespoons?
I just did 1 scoop. I wasn't too sure, so. It seems like most of these are about 6 to tablespoon, and how they determine that is they said to take the measurements of your container. If you're doing established plants already, do the measurement of your container, and it tells you the requirements for that particular size container, how much to feed it. That's how I came up with some of these are going to be like 3 tablespoons, some are going to be up to 6 tablespoons. So you have to definitely read your bag. Now, since all of these are organic, so you won't burn them, technically, your plants. And so sometimes I'll just do 1 handful, which is almost to equivalent of this, but I just want to make sure I get for this experiment, make sure I get the right dosage, so that way we can compare and evaluate on how much you're actually spending on your fertilizer. And one thing reason why I don't like getting these starts from the big box stores is sometimes they will overwater them, sometimes they will underwater them. Normally, I don't like transplanting these until they're semi-dry. It just makes it easier when you pull up. And I like it when the area that I'm transplanting them in will be moist, because it's just easier to work with. And this is pretty much moist because the last week, like I said, we've had almost 7 inches of rain, and it's still pretty much moist. And then also, if this is not really root bound or anything, but if you find out you have like a lot of roots, you can just tease the bottom of it to help get those roots to being like, oh, I got my roots disturbed, it's time to send some more roots. At least that's my way of thinking. Not sure if it is or not. This is an all-purpose plant food from Vigaro. and this one is 8 tablespoons. I said on the last video, we do a lot of experiments. If you have an experiment that you would like for us to see, whether it's a garden myth or you just have information about or would like to know about, comment down below and let us know. We'll see if we can incorporate that in one of our experiment videos. Later on, once we get everything transplanted, is water these deeply. And for containers, most of the times we just do a heavy water. We'll have the dial on our hose to shower or shower center, and we'll just saturate it until the water comes out from the bottom of these. That's how we water our containers. So it's humid, as y'all can see. Got all of these done with our little simple container mix. What we normally do is sphagnum peat moss, compost, black cow, some perlite, and some vermiculite. We've done plenty of videos about it. Now we're just going to transplant. So with these peppers that we're planting, there are the Cayenne long peppers. We got these from the local nurseries, and the reason why we're doing these in containers instead of the beds like we've been doing is this year we fell short of them. We planted some, but they didn't do too well, and so we wind up not even having any. Since we have a long growing season, I decided to support our local nursery, and we're going to plant these. These were real cheap for 6 of these, like 4-inch, 6-inch pots. They were $3. So for all, no, actually $3.50 or something like that. For all 6 of these, I was able to get them for $25. So that's not bad for this size mature plant. So what we're going to do is tease it out a little bit. See, like this, when you get your roots like that, I like to tease them a little bit to encourage some growth. About right there. And what we're going to do is to prevent the transplant shock, as a little bit of worm casting. We're going to do some rock phosphate to promote root and fruit system. It has a great balance of phosphorus and potassium. Like that. Get it nice and compacted. Try to get that stem straight up. It had another stem on here, but it broke. But at least it branched off to two leaders, so we were able to at least keep one. And we're going to do the same thing for all of these. So, babe, why is this important for us to grow this?
This right here, the cayenne pepper, is actually my secret to the best hot pepper that I use when I am pickling all of our cucumbers. And I've been pickling squash as well, but cayenne, I like to just do bulk harvest. I like to dry them, I like to grind them, and I like to have that available for spicing up these cucumbers. And that's been like your favorite recipe. Like every time I've had it with the cayenne, it's the only time that he really likes the pickles that I make. I did it with some jalapenos because I had a bunch of dried jalapenos.
They wasn't as spicy.
Yeah, they just were not as spicy as the cayenne. And we are particular about a specific hot sauce that we like.
Red Devil?
Yeah, Red Devil.
It's hard to find now.
I have to really hunt down the Red Devil hot sauce, and I've only found it in a few Hispanic stores and in Brookshire's. I'll find it there. Walmart doesn't even carry it anymore. And I would like to get my hands on that recipe, so if any of you have a recipe for the cayenne hot sauce, the Red Devil hot sauce, any kind of knockoff of it, comment down below. Please share that with me, and I will definitely shout you out for it.
And what it is a fermented cayenne pepper sauce, what it basically boils down to. Oh man.
I have attempted to make one. It just was too spicy. It wasn't as nice.
Basically, with this, once the off season gets cool and these start to go into dormancy, because in our growing zone they consider it a perennial, and so we can just put these off into the shed, and then once they come out of dormancy, we don't have to wait for the perfect temperature outside and the soil temperature, because they're already going to be at the perfect soil temperature. We just have to wait for the outside ambient temperature for them to start going back into growing.
A question I have about that, when it goes into dormancy, do you need to have any particular watering schedule for it?
No, once the off season, you can reduce your watering, you can reduce your fertilizer. You'll do it one more time for the soil in the fall, and then right when it comes out of dormancy, I would say about 2 weeks, once it becomes out of dormancy, where you figure it's going to come out of dormancy, that's when you will want to feed it again.
Would it be helpful for us to put like a shop light above any of them?
Now, it'll still get some light, and the great thing about this too is hopefully we'll have our greenhouse all in order by this fall if we can get some mulch.
That's been our biggest issue with the hoop house.
Yeah, once we get some mulch, we'll be able to put all of these and our fruit trees into the greenhouse, so we don't have to worry about, we can shorten their time coming out of dormancy and going into dormancy. And what I'm doing on these is I'm just getting off any of these suckers, anything that's going to be a little bit too low to the plant.
Dang, that one's got a long...
Yeah. Normally with these long cayenne peppers, you like to get them to when they're red, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when it gets the spiciness of these plants. We're going to go ahead and take these fruits off, so that way they can concentrate their growth on their root system and on their growth system, and also some of the flowers. Now, if you want to make sure you don't make the same mistake that I did, especially with these tomatoes, we did a video about it. We'll put that off to the side and also in the description down below. Until the next video, let's grow together.